Imagine being so dangerous the army points a loaded rifle at your head just to give you a spelling test. Because if they don't, the whole place will turn into a bloodbath. Meet Melanie. She looks like a student, right? Well, she's the only hope to save humanity, but she's actually the apex predator that ends the human race. What's up, D Billionz family? Today, we're breaking down a tactical survival masterpiece where the monster is the smartest person in the room. But before we do, I'd like to ask for a favor. Thank you. Wait, take a breath, and look at this girl. Her name is Melanie. Every single morning, Melanie has a ritual that feels more like a prison sentence. She straps herself into a wheelchair and secures a heavy metal collar around her neck, like she's preparing for an execution. But even with that, the soldiers picking her up? They're terrified. They won't even step within 2 feet of her without a loaded rifle and a scowl. Think about that. They are grown men with rifles, terrified of a child who hasn't even hit puberty yet. Why? Because Melanie isn't just a child. She's a hungry, a second-generation zombie. They will her out. See, the world outside is already gone, Billionz family. It's a wasteland. And it's revealed that there's so many other kids like Melanie, but these kids? They were infected in the womb. They have the virus, but they kept their minds. They are the ultimate paradox, a monster that can solve a math equation. Think about that for a second. If you look like a human and talk like a human, but crave human flesh, what are you? Scientists believe their blood holds the key to a vaccine. Their hope, wrapped in a straitjacket. But after years of study, they found something weird. If you educate them, they think and behave normal. Melanie is the smartest of the bunch. But then there's Miss Helen. She's the children's teacher, who actually sees them as children, not monsters. Melanie is the star student of their teacher, Miss Helen. Helen sees a child. Sergeant Parks sees a ticking time bomb. To prove his point, Parks uses experiments. Without blocker gel to hide the human scent, just a patch of skin makes these kids go feral. But Melanie? She's the anomaly. She actually fights her instincts. She chooses to stay human. But this is where it gets disturbing. One morning, everything changes, the routine breaks. No soldiers came to pick Melanie. Just silence. When they finally grab Melanie, she's not going to class. She's going outside. For the first time in her life, she sees the sky and the thousands of zombies trying to tear down the walls. The base is falling. In the chaos, Dr. Caldwell, a woman who views Melanie as a literal lab rat, decides it's time to cut her open. She wants a vaccine, and she's willing to kill Melanie to get it. She tranquilizes the girl, securing her to the operating table. Helen bursts in to save her, but Caldwell pepper sprays Helen right in the face. But look at this. Suddenly, an alarm screams. A zombie breaks in and bites a soldier named Selkirk. Caldwell smashes the zombie with a fire extinguisher, but she cuts her hand on glass in the process. She flees, leaving Melanie strapped to the table while Selkirk starts turning into a monster. Wait, look at Melanie. She realizes the virus in her body makes her invisible to the other zombies. She grabs a scalpel, cuts her restraints, and walks into the apocalypse. Outside, she sees Helen being pinned down by a soldier. Melanie loses it. She lunges, biting the soldier to protect her teacher. The taste of blood hits her like a drug, and she faints. Helen grabs her and jumps onto a passing armored vehicle. Inside are Caldwell, Parks, and a soldier named Gallagher. Parks wants to kill Melanie, but Helen becomes her human shield. Caldwell stops him because Melanie is the only sample left. They compromise. They strap Melanie to the roof and put a muzzle on her face. They head for a lighthouse 100 miles away, but the car dies out in a forest. On foot, they enter a city of dormant zombies. Imagine walking through monsters that only wake up if you make a sound. Caldwell stops a stroller pushed by a zombie mother and finds a rat feasting on a baby's corpse. The noise wakes the mother. Parks kills it, but the dinner bell has been rung. They retreat into a building to hide. While they wait, Melanie asks Caldwell, "Where did I come from?" Caldwell tells the brutal truth. The first generation of these kids ate their mothers from the inside out to survive. Their brains coexist with the virus. The next morning, the path is blocked by a massive horde. Melanie volunteers to lure them away. She walks into the crowd. She finds a stray cat and eats it, a snack to keep her brain in control. Then, she lures a horde of zombies away using a stray dog, pure tactical brilliance. She earns their trust. They reach another city, but it's silent. In the center, they find a skyscraper covered in massive plants grown out of thousands of zombie corpses. Caldwell explains the horrific truth. The virus is evolving. It's growing into giant, skyscraper-sized plants. Once those seed pods pop, it's over. The virus becomes airborne. Humanity is deleted. But Melanie? She's observing. She's learning. They find an old RV that's a mobile lab. It's perfect, also with solar electricity, but they're out of food. So a soldier named Gallagher goes out to scavenge for food. He finds a trail of food cans. It's a trap. A pack of feral zombie children, kids just like Melanie, but without the education, swarm him and tear him apart. When Melanie and the group arrive, they see Gallagher's dead body. The feral kids surround them. Parks wants to shoot, but Melanie steps in. She takes down a female zombie with a single punch and then challenges their leader. The leader has a bat, but Melanie has human combat training. She outplays him, kills him, and the rest of the pack scatters. When Melanie defeats the leader of the wild kids, she isn't just surviving, she's taking command. She's the new alpha. They get back to the lab, but the door is open. Caldwell is waiting with a gas mask and points a gun. She knocks out the group with sleeping gas. Caldwell is dying from her infected wound and has to cut Melanie open now. But Melanie stands up. Her hybrid body helped her. Dr. Caldwell is desperate. She tries to trick Melanie into the surgery one last time. "You'll be a hero, save Helen," she says. But Melanie asks the 1 billion IQ question. "Why should we die for you? This world belongs to us now." Melanie tells Caldwell to stay in the lab and walks out. Caldwell, realizing what she's about to do, chases after her, but she doesn't get far before she's surrounded by the feral children. She gives up, accepting her fate. Melanie walks to the giant virus plant. She lights a match. The fire spreads. She doesn't wait for the pods to pop. She forces them to. She releases the airborne virus, intentionally and effectively ending the era of humans and starting the era of the hungries. The world didn't end. It just changed owners. On her way back, she has to kill Sergeant Parks because he's turning, and he begs for it, because he doesn't want to be a monster. It's heartbreaking. In the end, Helen is the last human left, protected inside the airtight lab. And Melanie? She brings the other zombie children to the window. Class is in session. A new civilization is born, not from the ashes of humanity, but from its evolution. Most people completely missed the silent message Melanie left in that final scene. And once you see it, you'll realize the humans never stood a chance. Let's get into the deep breakdown. This isn't just a horror movie, it's a shift in the food chain. Melanie's choice to burn the pods is the ultimate strategic move. She realized that as long as humans existed, her kind would be hunted and dissected. By turning the world, she didn't just survive, she won. We often think good means saving humans. But from Melanie's perspective, humans were the monsters keeping children in cages. Sometimes, the villain is just someone with a different survival requirement. Did you notice how Melanie's behavior changed the moment she tasted blood? It wasn't just hunger, it was an awakening of her true nature. The movie subtly shows that education can mask instinct, but it can never erase it. Adapt or perish. The world doesn't care about your past. It cares about your ability to fit into the future. Melanie chose her people over her teacher's species. It's a lonely victory, but a victory nonetheless. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1 billion IQ mind of Melanie, make sure to hit that like button. Join the D Billionz family by subscribing for more elite recaps that go deeper than the surface. See you in the next one. Stay smart.